Elizabeth is once again conflating the beloved husband she lost and the handsome Mountie, who once professed to love her. Either it could be that simple, or the woman of Lucas's dreams is about to break his heart. Since this is Elizabeth's narrative, we want the best for her. However, a love triangle in Season 8 of When Calls the Heart led to a nasty split between the groups of Team Nathan and Team Lucas. Based on the irate expressions and negative feedback, if even the slightest hint of it is talked about, I can already sense resentment approaching. There will be resentful fans going forward, regardless of the eventual cause, as Elizabeth is now through emotional turmoil once more. A change of heart on Elizabeth's part. When it appeared that Mountie Nathan might be in danger, the school teacher and single mother, on the most recent episode of Hallmarks, When Calls the Heart began to spin out of control. Is this merely PTSD's reaction to the untimely death of her husband Jack? Or is there another issue at hand? The people of Hope Valley become worked up by the abrupt appearance of the governor, and we find out more about Montague's schemes. Rosemary was excited about the possibility of the territorial governor coming to Hope Valley last week. It's possible that she overreached herself. It turns out that the governor is arriving in town considerably sooner than anticipated. The issue? Rosemary has promised him a 7-course supper, a black tie gala, a live radio broadcast, and a choir performance. In any case, it was going to be hard to pull all that together. It's practically hard to plan with just one day to spare. Nevertheless, everyone tries their hardest to live up to Rosemary's extravagant expectations, from Henry Gowan, who offers to construct a stage at Hickam and May, who are charged with writing a song that highlights Hope Valley's benefits. When Governor Bixby Balfour shows up before everything is ready, Rosemary doesn't mind at all. If things don't work out exactly how she had hoped, she says, so be it. It's an unexpectedly upbeat and welcome attitude from the typically tense character. It'll have to wait and see what the governor's visit has in store for Hope Valley, as he doesn't appear until the very end of Deep Water. However, he doesn't seem confident when his right-hand man whisks him off to speak with Montague. Nathan is the subject of the other significant drama in this episode of When Calls the Heart. At last, he and Elizabeth tell Bill about their concerns over Montague and the unaccounted for Madeleine. After donning his investigator's cap, Bill quickly learns that Montague and his team are excavating a trench on the property he sold Madeleine. In the meantime, Madeleine and her son have disappeared, and not even Montague is aware of their whereabouts. It appears that Hickam may be correct in his suspicion that they aren't even engaged. The enigma only gets more complex when Nathan leaves for Rock Creek on a Mountie assignment. When he gets there, he discovers that several Pinkertons and an irate farmer named Clifford are involved in a standoff. And we all know that trouble is brewing in Hope Valley whenever Pinkertons appear. Nathan makes an effort to get sense out of the man who is briefly holding him captive. Clifford quickly discovers that he was duped into selling his water rights to Montague's Union City Holding Company. But our favorite Mountie is never truly in danger. Clifford chose to fight back since the Pinkertons are there to enforce the terms of the contract. The large orders for lumber that Lee's company has been fulfilling now make more sense. It turns out that the wood is meant for aqueducts, not trestle bridges as he had assumed. As it did in Eagle Creek, Union City Holdings intends to take the water from the region and deliver it to Union City. Can the worried residents of Hope Valley take any action? Bill, Lee, Rosemary, Elizabeth, Lucas, and Nathan decide to keep this information to themselves for the time being, even though they're not sure. Lucas notes that as of right now, their one benefit is that the business believes they are unaware of the situation. At the conclusion of When Calls the Heart Season 9, Elizabeth and Lucas announce their engagement, but occasionally it feels like the program has forgotten these two are getting hitched. Their impending nuptials have not received much attention, with the exception of a little conversation about selecting a dress. Elizabeth also doesn't appear to be considering their future as a married pair, with the exception of rejecting Lucas' proposal to construct her a new home. Their scenes together have been limited in the past several episodes. Rather, the program consistently pairs Elizabeth with Nathan, the man she turned down in Season 8. Deep Water begins with an update on Elizabeth and Lucas's wedding, which is happening in 6 weeks. After sending out invitations, RSVPs are starting to come in. All is well thus far. But Elizabeth is preoccupied with Nathan, and her thoughts are diverted from Lucas and her wedding. She's thinking about this Mountie, whether it's by observing him thoughtfully while he plays with little Jack, or by collaborating with him to find out what Montague is up to. She also becomes alarmed when word spreads throughout Hope Valley that Nathan has been held captive. Does this have to do with the fact that Nathan's danger reminds her so much of her late husband? We know she has been thinking a lot about Jack as well because she was just at his burial last week. Or is there another issue at hand? Elizabeth panics when she learns that Nathan is being held captive and goes to Henry Gowan, an unexpected source of solace. She sobs, "I can't do this again. Never again." Thankfully, Nathan makes a full recovery, which greatly relieves Elizabeth. But she needs to withdraw to the library to gather herself in solitude since she is so filled with emotion. Later, a worried Gowan approaches Elizabeth tactfully and defies his better judgment to give her some unsolicited counsel. He says, "It might be a good idea for you to think back on how you felt yesterday," informing Henry that she is all right. All she had on her mind was a friend. "Are you sure?" he asks. "I'm doing okay, Henry," she replies. "You're mistaken," and then turns to go. Elizabeth, though, is obviously not well. Furthermore, it's clear from her tone and body language that Henry's remarks have wounded her deeply. Elizabeth will eventually have to deal with her feelings, ideally sooner rather than later because her wedding to another man is quickly approaching. It seems unlikely that Elizabeth has developed romantic feelings for Nathan that she is attempting to repress, or that she is dealing with unresolved trauma and lingering grief from losing Jack.